I'm sitting in a gold mine that's over 125 years old. This mine hasn't been worked since 1925 or 26, and that's going to change today. We're going to drill and blast and muck in here, and hopefully we're going to find a lot of gold. This is a Gardner Denver FL83 drill. It's got a pneumatic leg. It's a 2-stage leg. We got a little short leg on because we're working in our narrow stope where we don't have a lot of room. This is called the corn cob. I don't know what the real name is. That's what I've always called it or heard it called. This gives air to the leg. So as you turn that up, you give more air and extends the leg and pushes harder, and then drops it all the way down and kills the air to the leg. This is the throttle to the drill. So you can, it clicks so you can adjust how hard you want it to hit and the speed it goes, and then you can also all the way back, blows air down through the steel and into the bottom of the hole. The drill is hollow, and water that runs down the drill steel all the way to the bottom of the hole, clear it out and keep the dust down. You'll see a lot of fog in here today. That's all water. There's not even any dust in here. You'll see the holes today. There's going to be water and cuttings running out of the holes. So it's not quartz dust we're breathing. This thing runs on about 120 PSI. We have a 185 CFM compressor out there. You can only run one drill on that size compressor. We're going to be drilling 4-foot holes today. We're going to take a stope round starting about where I'm sitting and working across towards Harry there. It'll be about 25 feet long. We figure the vein averages about 3 feet. Some places it's 4, some places it's 2.5, and that's somewhere around 15 to 20 tons of muck. We've got about 30 to 35 holes to drill, and the plan is once we get them drilled, we'll get it all blasted, and then tomorrow we can come in and take a look at our muck pile. I want to take a little minute to talk about, the history and what it means to me to be here. I've been coming up here since I was a teenager. I've been all through all these old workings, come down to this face here behind me for the last almost 30 years, been chipping gold off the face, and I've been dreaming about this day for probably decades. And it's finally going to happen. And it's a really weird feeling. I'm a little nervous and anxious about it. I hope everything goes well. We've come so far, and all we got to do now is drill and blast it. All we got to do. We've been working for almost a month to get here. We've done all the rehab work, all the timber work. We timbered up the raids. We got the air line in. We got the water line in. We have our escapeways in. We have the stope has been rehabbed. We've got the drill up here, we've got the steel, we have the compressor, it's just, the list goes on and on and on and on and on of things that we've had to do to make it to this point. This mine was discovered in the late 1890s, so it's been around for over 125 years, and it hasn't produced gold since 1925 or 1926. So it's a really weird feeling to be sitting here. I'm standing on the shoulders of all the people in the history that have worked in this place. There's hundreds and hundreds of men that made it possible for me to sit where I'm sitting here today and be able to drill and blast this face. You've got all the guys, the discoverer, all the guys who developed the mine, the guys who did the trails, the pack guys, the mill guys, the refining guys, all the miners, everybody. There's so many things that had to happen for me to be able to sit here today and make this video. And I feel like there's the ghosts of 100 people standing behind me, and they're all supporting me. This was a big part of their lives. This is going to be a big part of my life. I will remember this forever, and I'm so grateful I get to share it with you guys and can record it and have YouTube share it with the world and educate people in the history, show them my journey, and keep the small-scale mining alive. We're the lucky ones, or the foolish ones, that are going to bring it back to life. Put a steel in one of those holes. This has been a really, really hot spot. Geologists over the last 50 years have been coming down here. They've identified this as a really rich zone. The vein here is between 3 and 4 feet wide, and there's been multiple chip samples by accredited geologists all the way across the face from the hang wall to the footwall, and time again it comes back between 1 ounce to 2.5 ounces a ton. So we've got some really, really rich ore here we're going to be working. My hope is that we get to blast this thing in the muck pile. As we start mucking, we're going to wash it down, and we're going to start looking for samples. We're going to look for gold and quartz. We're going to look for some really interesting mineral stuff. And so I'm going to not only process the gold at the end and pour gold bars, but I also want to look for samples, take some down to the rock shop, slab them up. I might get into making cabochons, making some jewelry. So I'm really, really excited.
So I moved my wedge the same distance as the steel. So they're all online.
I learned how to mine here, not in this particular workings, but on some other workings on the property. I worked from 2007 to 2010, and there are 2 guys that taught me how to mine, John and Claire, and I really appreciate what they did for me. Everything that I've done here so far, I learned from them. All about how to set stalls, how to run the drill today. I learned all that from them, how to blast, how to muck, and so they were a big part of my mining experience and my learning how to do this. It's very rare that you meet people in your life that are mentors, true mentors, that you can learn a brand new skill from. And this is really important to me because today we're going to actually make something. We're going to make a product. We're going to get gold out. We're going to get ore out of the mountain. This is really a lost art in America for sure. This small, high-grade underground quartz veins, mining for gold is really, hardly anybody does it anymore. There's a few of us around that are still doing it. I don't mean to say that no one does it, but the skill set to do this is almost extinct in the U.S. And so it's really important to me, one, to keep it alive, and I'm teaching mine operator, Chad and Harry, how to do it so they can take it down to their operation, but also to educate as best I can you guys on video, show you the process. I know most of you will never go underground and do underground mining, but someone out there may find this information valuable, and if you don't record it, it's going to be lost forever. You know, I'm not going to do this forever, and I may be one of the few people left in the state that knows how to do it. And back in the day, they wrote articles and they tried to write books and stuff about it, but now we have YouTube and we have video, so I can record all this and I can show you exactly how I do things.
That's from what? 1/4 of the hole? And I missed half the cut.
Not even that was just the beginning of the hole.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's from like less than 1/4 cut.
Yeah.
Good spot. I think you're maybe another 6 inches, 4 or 6 inches.
4 to 6 inches?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we just finished our drilling. We did a total of 28 holes. You can see our drill pattern where it's wide. We took 3 holes, and where it narrows down, we took 2. And we stopped back over here. I was going to take a little bit more over here, but we decided to stop at this row right here because we're going to leave, eventually we got to leave with some support in here, so we figured we'd start with this little pillar here. And then we've got 6 holes over here on this side of the burn cut. And that's where, I think it was that hole right there, where I caught the cuttings in the pan and it panned out all that gold. So we've got some really, really nice stuff here. Now we just got to get it loaded and shot. And then I brought up some caps and some stick powder, and we'll get it loaded in the holes and shoot it. All right, we're getting ready to load these holes. I'm going to be using some of the stick powder. Some people call it water gel. They're 16-inch sticks. I'm going to slide them down the end of the hole. You got to be careful with these because they're pretty sensitive. Oh, I'm just kidding. They're pretty inert. You can hit them, you can shoot them, you can drop them down the raise. They won't do anything. So we take the water gel and a cap, and these are easy debts, handy debts, easy drifters, something like that. And we're going to put the cap in the bottom of the water gel, facing back towards the collar of the hole. And then we're going to slide it in the hole. Use a non-sparking powder stick and shove it to the bottom of the hole and then tamp it in there. And we've got room for one more stick. There we go. So we're going to do that with all 28 holes. And then at the end, we'll hook them all up in the order we want them to shoot. And I know I'm going to get asked this, so I'll just tell you, I am a licensed blaster with ATF and Washington State L&I. So everything I'm doing here is legal. I'm licensed to do everything. I can handle and buy and use explosives. We've got all of our holes loaded now. Now I've got to hook them up in the order I want them to shoot. You can't just blast them all at once because it won't give the holes over there anywhere to go to. And so I got to make sure that I blast a hole which gives room for the next hole to blast into, and et cetera, et cetera. So the way I'm going to do this is we have essentially a nice big burn cut already here in the vein. This was shot in 1980. This was the only blast since 1925 or 26, and most of the muck was in a pile that we just mucked out. This is the hole I want to shoot first because it's closest to our burn cut. I can shoot this one at the same time because it's on the other side and close to the burn cut, but I'll show you how I hook up these 6 and then we'll start working our way down that wall. So the way these work is I'm going to have a 0, which is the electric that we use to detonate and start the blast here. And I'm going to tape that 0 onto this yellow tube, which is a shock tube. And when we hook up the battery to the wires that are outside when we go out to shoot, it's going to make that 0 blast and hit this shock tube, and it's going to send the signal to the bottom of the hole where the cap is, and it'll blast the cap, but it also sends a signal to this clip, which has a little tiny cap in the clip. And so when I hook this up to the next hole, which is going to be this bottom one here, I clip the shock tube of the number 2 hole in the clip, and now that cap in this blue clip is going to send the signal down the second hole. And now this is where it gets a little bit, you got to pay attention to what you're doing. But I've got my number 1 right here. You won't be able to see this probably. But I've got my number 1 hooked up to my number 2. My number 2, I'm going to hook up to this one up here, which is number 3. And then number 3 can hook up. This one I can do 2 at once. So I'm going to do 2 4s. It's going to be this hole in the back and this hole right here in the middle. And that'll send the signal down to those 2 at the same time. And then I hook both of these up to our last hole on this side. And I leave that one hang, because that's not going to light off anything else. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to our number 1. And this number 1 hole, this is going to be the first one to go. And then it sends a signal down to this number 2. But at the same time, I'm going to send the signal over on the other side of the stope round. So I'm going to have a number 2 here and a number 2 over here. And then I got to make sure I pull the right wire, which is this one. There's a delay on the cap at the bottom of the clip and a delay at the cap at the bottom of the hole. The delay on the clip is 300 milliseconds, so it's 1/3 of a second. and the delay at the bottom of the hole is 7,000 milliseconds, which is 7 seconds. And the reason that is you're going to have all of these caps at the bottom here blasting off. So what you're going to hear is a boom every third of a second, starting with the 0. And what that does is it sends the signal down all the bottom of these caps, all the way down, and all the caps will go off, these blue caps will go off before the first cap goes off in the bottom of the hole. Because if they went off at the same time, you could have rock flying all over and it can cut tubes, and if you get a cut tube and the signal hasn't gone down, the hole won't work. The cap at the bottom of the hole will never get its signal. So that's why there's 2 different delays. So you'll hear boom, 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 and then it'll be 2 or 3 seconds, then you'll hear boom, 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 and those will be the holes or the caps at the back of the hole. So we're going to hear 2 different shots go off, essentially. All right, we just got the okay from Chad. He's through the mine at the blacksmith shop. We're going to use a 9-volt battery, unshunt our wires. There should be 14 booms, and then followed by another 14. Ready? Bang. Goes more. Yeah!
That was awesome.
We did it!
That was rad.
Yes! It worked! First shot in the mine in 100 years. It's the next morning. The mine's vented out, all the gases are vented out. Woke up early, I've been thinking about this all night. I'm gonna go down and take a look, see what that blast is. All right, we're getting ready to go in to check on our muck pile. How's everybody feeling this morning about it?
Couldn't stop thinking about it last night.
I know, I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about it too. But yeah, we'll go up, and first thing we gotta do is scale down, right? So we'll bring some scaling bars with us, and we'll close the water valve so we can wash the muck pile down. But I'm excited. About 1,000 feet through there, there's a bunch of gold laying on the floor waiting for us.
That's gonna be awesome. See how much muck we have. How much muck do you think's gonna be up there?
I don't know.
I know.
I don't know if it's going to be like a nice little pile or if it's going to be blasted all over everywhere. We'll have to see.
I think our stoles survive.
Yeah, see if your stoles survive.
Come on, we can crap out of those things. They're gonna be in there.
All right, let's go check it out. We'll take a look. All right, we're at our stope station. Behind me about 75 feet is our shot. We're gonna go take a look. There's just a little hint of gas smell in the air, but not bad at all. And we'll wash the muck pile down, wet it down, that'll take care of that. Have our guy scale his way in there. We're just sounding off the back. So far it's all sounded real good. We haven't had anything that was dodgy.
Oh, I like that smell.
Smell of money.
I love the smell of explosives in the morning.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
Look at that.
Dang. Holy smoke. Look at how much muck there is. Woo.
I did not expect that.
Our stoles survived.
Yeah.
Some of the lagging did it.
Holy cow.
Woo! Oh, we got a clean face there. No, took out our fence.
Oh yeah.
Good thing we put these sandbags here. They caught some stuff.
They did.
Yeah, they took some of it.
We got muck out over here. All this is new. This is all this. The bigger stuff is new.
Finish my job.
Yeah.
I'm glad this rock is hard, man.
Yeah. That was our pillar. Wow, it just piled it up in the corner. Yep.
That is impressive. It blew it just like you planned, Jason.
Yeah.
All the way against that face over there.
All over in the corner.
Contain it. That's a lot easier to muck. Control. So what do you think?
I think it went okay. I'm not quite sure. We got a misfire right there, which caused that one to not go the way we wanted it. These two, that one there and that one there, weren't loaded. The vane's doing some funny little thing where you got a big chunk of waste in the middle of it now.
Yeah.
Right here.
Looks like it kind of dies right there, dips a little.
Yeah, it dips down and then goes up into the hanging wall. You got a horse to waste in there, right across there.
Horse to waste.
So I'm not really sure. We'll have to wash it down and get a real good look. This is the fun part, getting the muck washed down. We're getting the vane washed down. We're taking a look at some of our holes. And YouTube, I need your help again. So all you guys out there with blasting experience, a lot of my holes didn't blast all the way to the bottom. I have a couple theories I want to walk through with you. So let's take a look at what I got. We'll see if we can figure out a better way to blast this thing. So this is over kind of the corner. We haven't been able to muck that out yet to see what happened with our original burn. I think one of our first holes is right up over here. And they didn't get all the way to the back of the hole. We're missing about 6 to 8 inches on some of those. This one's maybe more like 1.5 feet. That one right there. Some other ones here that didn't go all the way to the back. My theory is that I spaced them too far. I thought that I could heave more with the explosives I had. I should have put my holes closer together, and maybe stemming would have helped. But we've also had some weird stuff with the vane where, like over here, the vane kind of splits. You get this horse to waste. So we were drilling, we were getting waste in the bottom of our holes back here, and it looks like the vane splits, and we left a bunch on the hanging wall. So that's a drilling problem, not necessarily a blasting problem. The ones back over here in the corner went pretty good, but then I think we had a hole here that is probably 2 or 2.5 feet that I think it just had too much to heave out of there. It was all waste rock. The waste rock isn't as brittle as the quartz, so it doesn't break as easy. And so once that one didn't go, then this last hole here didn't go either. That's probably 2.5 or 3 feet deep. That the explosives went, the cap went and it blasted the hole, but it had so much rock here, it couldn't, the gases couldn't break that out, and it kind of came out and just broke the collar of the hole. Yeah,
That's what you're looking for.
This is what we're looking for. Here's our first specimen. Gold flecked all the way along here. All up in there is a bunch of little fine gold. It's a nice piece. And it's right kind of in these gray bands I've been talking about. That's where it's hanging out. So we're gonna do a special sack for all our specimens and take those out separate. That's not going in the muck pile. That's going in the slab saw. We're bringing our bigger rocks out and stacking them along the fence here. And those will be good rocks to slab back at the rock shop. Once we get down to about grapefruit size, we switch and hand put them in bags. So we've been filling up bags with baseball size down to, I don't know, yeah, right around baseball size to grapefruit size. And then everything else, the fine stuff, we've been raking up into little piles like this one here. And Chad's been using his patent pending method here We've got a safety cone to cut the top off of. And then he can just rake it right into the cone.
And if they're not too big, they won't plug.
Uh-huh.
It won't plug if, you know, something like this, maybe too big.
Yeah, I just pull the big ones out and put them in the bag separate. But I've been trying to go ahead of them and hand pick out the big ones. And there we go.
And let's do it. Next.
There we go. Hand mucking.
And look.
Mine operator in action.
We can move this quick. Make the next pile.
When you're drilling, it's hard to tell what the vein's doing back at the bottom of your holes. And our vein is getting wider and wider here, it looks like.
It's nice, there's no dust. Yeah, no dust.
Yeah, no dust, nice and wet. It's not even gassy. I get a little bit of a hint.
Yeah. Right.
But not, I mean, not bad at all. What's this piece look like here?
Brand new ground no one's ever seen.
That's right. No one on the planet ever has seen what we're seeing right now. We made new surface of the earth.
Let me get in real quick.
What do we got here? Yeah. We've got some really, really good looking stuff right along here, all along this line, back over here. All this stuff is super, super rich gold stuff. I've got a special guest coming in the next couple days, so I'm not going to pick at that yet. But I accidentally pulled a piece off. You see there, right with my thumb. Nice, nice piece of gold. There's probably quite a bit more on this. If I can get it washed off and cleaned off. But that is the stuff right there. So where Harry's standing there, it was essentially just a complete wall of muck. We got our spot pushed through over there to where the good gold is, right in the wall. So now we can start looking for samples and get our hammer and chisel down here. And there's our sandbag. There's probably close to 100 in that pile. And then Harry and Chad the other day mucked 40 more, so we have somewhere between 120 and 140 bags up here.
Yeah.
And we still got to get them out to the truck.
Now we got to build a cart.
Now we got to build a cart.
Stand some track.
Yep, rail. Well,
Well, it's gonna be not strap rail, but it'll be a rail.
it'll be yeah,
It'll be something.
It'll be something. Something to make it easier on us. All right, that's it for today. Well, I mentioned earlier we have some special guests in the mine today. This is Brent and Haley, all the way from Cerro Gordo.
We're ready to get some gold.
Nice. We're switching metals today.
Yeah.
I've come down to look for silver and lead with you.
Yeah.
We're up looking for gold today.
I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot more water here.
Yeah, a lot of water coming out of this mine.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, excited to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And yeah, let's go do it. All right, Brent, I drug you all the way up into my mine.
I'm ready.
What do you think?
I'm finding a lot of what I think is gold, but if I take your advice, what I think is gold is not gold. So I'm finding a lot of that, but I'm also seeing hopefully some gold.
Yeah, I think we'll find some gold today.
I'm ready to find some gold.
Yeah.
It's my first time back in an active mine, so I've been in a lot of abandoned mines. A lot of similarities. I can see the old workings. It's kind of cool to see the old workings and your workings. And so I'm excited to get in here and get a better appreciation for everything that people at Cerro Gordo did 150 years ago.
Yeah. I'm going to put you to work today.
I'm ready.
You're going to learn how to muck and
Yeah.
like the old timers did. But Brent's gonna find his first gold in my gold mine. So yeah, should be able to knock off any of those pieces.
Am I gonna like catch it?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well,
That'll work. There you go. Now check over the faces and look for yellow stuff. It's that easy. It'll be right in there with that silvery looking stuff. Found some.
found some gold.
All right, let's see. What do you got?
Right there.
Yeah.
Got some gold.
We got some gold. Really, really small gold. There it is. Nice. Brent's first gold.
I'm gonna get some more gold.
Yeah.
Go under that piece. A little more.
Where'd that other half go?
This must have been what it looked like when the drill hit.
Yeah, look at there. This is cool having the microscope up in the stove.
Anything there, Jason?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good piece.
Dude, it's all over, man.
Gold everywhere?
Oh, yeah.
Gold everywhere. I've been waiting like 5 days to do this.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, because it's.
I've been saving it for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Taking all of our willpower not to pick at that rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jason's like, my special guest is coming.
Yeah.
I'll leave it for him.
These pieces came out that same area. I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't see any gold necessarily, but.
We'll take a look. Yeah, there's a little bit there. I think Brent might be catching gold fever.
I'm ready. I could stay in here all day long.
Could you? Is that true?
8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hours. 8 hours.
Probably, yeah,
Let's
I
not
think
do
so.
any overtime, but yeah.
We're seeing a little bit of the gold flakes. Keeps you moving.
Get you excited.
Definitely. I think we're on a good piece.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh, I think we got gold.
Yeah, yep, sure
More
enough.
gold. It's like
Nice.
it's a gold mine in here.
It's like a gold.
You might be right.
What's all this gold doing in here? Maybe that's your call sign, Harry, is microscope.
That's all right. I've been called worse, so I'll take it.
There it is.
Just checking it out on the viewfinder there. Nice. Nice.
Gold everywhere.
I like this filming other people work my gold mine. This is great.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
Videographer?
I'll just bring in YouTubers to mine my gold for me.
It's a good gig.
Yeah.
This is like, I need a jackleg up here. And poop, it's there.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna go change the approach, go a little higher right there.
Yeah, I like higher.
Sections going on there.
He's onto a pocket.
I think we found a pocket.
Gold pocket.
Gold pocket. Ooh. That stuff looks gold pocket. It's the silver stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure looks good.
I see little bits of it in the wall.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Awesome.
It's like right along that silver band, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's kind of right going there.
Yep.
That's right in there.
Nice. Of course, here we are again with like one hammer, one chisel,
Yep.
unprepared.
Yeah.
We don't have all the... It's like, why don't we all have hammers and chisels? Because I didn't plan ahead. That's why.
Been there before.
Yeah.
Either way, we're finding gold. That's
We're
the
finding
important
gold.
part.
That's
That's the mission of the day.
it.
Right there. It's got to be a really good day.
All right, Brent's gonna muck his first bag for us.
Yep.
Oh, don't make it too easy on him, Harry.
I just got to get some of these rocks here. I want to check them.
I know he's a beginner, but
I'm ready to muck.
oh, he's a natural. Look at him go.
What are you doing for the next month?
Does one cone equal one bag, kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can fill the cone up.
If it's too full, it's not a big deal.
All right.
Up with it? Yep. Just kind of hold on to the bag.
There we go.
He's quicker than I am.
Yeah. Harry, you're fired.
Hey, hire him. There you go.
And if you want one of these bags yourself, go to Mount Baker Mining eBay.
There you go. Yes, absolutely.
Put it on the cart.
All right, put it on the cart.
All right, now we go down to the cart. There he goes. Okay.
How many does the cart take? 4?
I don't know. We've never used the cart
We've
before.
used it before.
4 seems all right.
Five or 6?
5, 6.
If it breaks, then I wasted about an hour and a half building this cart.
It won't break.
I get a break.
Oh, yeah. One more. Let's do 5.
Alrighty.
All right. Let's see what happens.
All right, you really take much of this?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
This is the very first trip.
So it goes on the slide?
But the idea is, yeah, you unload the chute or the cart. You come over here. And they go down and make a pile at the next
Nice.
transfer station. All right, well, what do we want to do? Hand me bags?
Sure.
All right, Harry, go ahead. You just use a little choker knot. Cinch the bag up.
Let's clear the line. All right, here comes the next one.
All the way down. Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another part of opening my new gold mine. Today I've brought all this wood up. We're going to get it into the portal and we're going to start building rail back along our haulage at it, back to the bottom of the raise so that we don't have to wheelbarrow our bags of muck. I've got Harry from Mine Operator, and I've also got a special guest. Mr. Dan Hurd is here to help us out. And we have our resident track standing expert.
Oh yeah, done this a million times before.
You know how to do this, right, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
That's why you're here. But we are going to start probably just past our little workstation here. Start kind of right there, right in here somewhere. And we're just going to figure it out as we go. We're going to put 2-foot wide sleepers. We're going to put the track standing up, and then we're going to block them in the middle with a block, and we're not even going to put strap on them. And here comes Harry with Mine Operator. The idea is just lay some sleepers out and then start standing rail on it.
That's
and
it.
space it between them.
Yep.
Okay. That's the plan, Dan.
Let's do it.
You know.
Oh boy, look at this. Here he goes again with his fancy tools. Well, you've been wanting to use that since you got here, haven't you, Harry?
Yeah, I know. Once I get the size figured out, it goes quick. It'll help with
Roof there.
It'll help with production.
Well, Dan's gonna have this thing railed by the time you get your stuff cut.
There's a long strategy involved.
I like this filming other people working.
Oh yeah. Shh. I'm not supposed to be doing that.
Oh yeah, it's always sorry, not working.
I'm not working. I'm
No,
playing.
Dan's
I'm
playing. You're on vacation. Dan does weird stuff on vacation.
I do.
I really liked your idea of putting the sleeper just on the intersection of the long rails, and then we'll come and add them where we need to later.
Yeah, we're just doing the joints for sleepers to start with, and then as we see where we need them along the way, we can add them in. The corner we need more sleepers because we're, going around the corner. And this is great. Tap with a hammer, it'll fall.
Yeah, get a hammer.
There we go. Nice hammer. I like your hammer.
Come on.
It'll go.
Oh, I didn't cut the angle.
That's okay.
okay.
Put it from the edge and now hit it in there.
Yeah.
Hit it in there.
There we go.
Yeah. Now he's thinking like a miner.
Zippo mining.
Yeah, it works. Yes. Bingo.
Perfect.
All right, Dan.
All
How are you,
straight.
buddy?
Dan is having way too much fun. Kid in the candy store on his little cart trolley he's got.
My own personal roller coaster.
Harry and Dan making it happen over there. Dan's riding the cart down. We're getting the rails set and the sleeper set. And Dan's kind of self-centering the cart, or the rails with the cart. He toenails the rails into the sleeper on the joints. Going around the corner is a little bit of a trick, but we're getting the hang of it.
Yeah, so
Trying to level as we go. This is going great. This is going so fantastic.
remember, this is recreation for me.
Yeah,
Fun.
he's on vacation.
And enjoy the hell out of it.
Yay.
Man,
Congratulations.
we did a lot of work today. Look at all that rail down there.
I got an idea.
We are out of batteries, so we can't go anymore today, but we will continue tomorrow. We're back to working on a rail here. We got Chad back. So now we're coming along and we're putting sleepers in the middle. And this is more or less what the final product's gonna look like. Got our stood rail, we got a sleeper underneath, a spacer in the middle that we've tied in screws this way to hold the rail so it's not bending in. And then we have these little 2x2 kind of fish plate, pseudo fish plate things, so it can't bow out at the joints. And we're just going along, and we settled on one sleeper in the middle of an 8-foot run. And then obviously when you go around the corners, you gotta shorten up. But that's what it's looking like. And so far it's working real good. And here we're using our cart to move more material up to the front. Sure beats the wheelbarrow. We'll have to put a push rail on there so we don't have to bend over.
That'll help.
Well, we're going to see if this is a bad idea. I think we've got 7 bags on a little cart. So let's see if we can make it out to the portal with them. I can guarantee you, regardless of how this goes, it's a whole lot better than a wheelbarrow.
Once they're tied in, we'll know.
Yeah.
And then the places that don't have the fish plates, we'll be able to see these fish plates. So if we see a wobbly one, we can stick them in. If not, we live with it.
I agree.
These guys are wobbly.
Yeah, we're not attached to the sleepers in the middle yet. So you just have the downward support. It's going.
This is so much easier than a wheelbarrow.
So much easier.
And if I get a little, up right about here.
Yeah, a little push bar there.
See, where does water come from?
I know, it's really wet today.
Look at this almost water.
That's what we're doing, we're just testing.
7.
Yeah, I got 7. Yeah, like a dream. Now you're into the fish plates.
Yes, sir. The corners don't wobble as much.
Very nice. Well, we have 7 bags right here at the portal. We weighed them. They weigh an average of about 40 pounds a piece. And if we can do 10 bags to a cartload, that's 5 cartloads to a ton. And that is how you make money mining gold. We got our rail system done. I know I was real antsy there earlier when we pulled out those 7 bags, but we've got the rail completely done to the raise and all the way through the transfer level. So today we're going to be bringing out 50 bags of ore, getting it in the truck, and taking it down to the mill. And for reference, it took 3 guys 2 full days to get the rail in. We put in about 700 feet of rail or so. And a big thanks to Dan Hurd for getting us started and helping us out. We're going to get 50 bags staged at the top of the raise, send them down all at once, and then we'll get them to the truck. Exciting stuff. Our first ton out of the new gold mine. Here's our little cart loaded up. We got 4, 3, 2, and 1. So it's 10 sandbags total. Now I'll give you sandbag vision here. We are cruising down the transferway with 400 to 500 pounds of muck. And I'm using one hand to push it, the other one's holding the camera. This is how you make mining fun and efficient when you don't have a mucker and a slusher and a bunch of big drifts that you can get equipment in. Boop, there we go. Well, we're experimenting with different methods to get our bags down. Right now we have our rope and a pulley. If you just launch them down the chute, the bags break open, so we can't be having that. So we'll see how this goes. Uh-oh, this is probably our biggest bottleneck right now, is getting these bags down. Touchdown. Now those little tire bumpers are working great. Before that they'd hit and explode. Clear. There we go. We'll get our 10 bags, which is somewhere around 400 pounds. We've definitely got some improvements to make. We're going to bring the rail all the way out here. I've got bags right now. I'm standing on the truck and I'm loading them into the super sack. And what I really need to do is be able to come out of the blacksmith shop here, shoot them down a chute that goes right into the bed of the truck. And I think it might be best to ditch the bag and just stack them on pallets. Can't see anything. Because I have to open the bag every time I put a sandbag in, and it's taking a bunch of time and screwing around, and it's not even going to hold that many. So maybe 2 pallets, 25 sandbags each or something, and that'll get us down the hill. Here's our last load of the day. We're going to have almost 1 ton in the truck. As soon as this gets out here, we get loaded. So the rail is a success. Okay, we have successfully moved 43 bags of ore into the back of the truck. So we have about a ton.
That is awesome. We're finally getting ore out of this mine.
We're getting ore out of the mine. What do you say, Harry?
Yeah, it's going to be some work.
I know. Well, the first one's always the hardest, right? So we gotta figure out. There's some improvements to be made, but we got some good ideas.
The track didn't break though.
The track didn't break.
Sticky spots, but nothing failed.
And we couldn't have done it without the track. Yeah. Hands down. I mean, there's no way.
Yeah. Six bags of wheelbarrow, and that was a nightmare just doing it when Brent was here.
Yeah, and we got 10 bags a cart. Yeah. So whatever that is, we got essentially four cart loads out here. All right, well, good work today, guys. We did it. We got our first bag of ore out of the mine.
I like it. All right. Thank you, Jason.
Well, that ends another part of opening my new gold mine. The track is a lifesaver and a backsaver, so I'm really glad we put it in. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Mine Operator. Check out both their channels. I'll put links in the description below for that. And I am excited to start getting some more out of this mine, get it down to the mill, figure out how much gold we got this year.